We have two prayers for Eid.
Even then, people are going to be outside trying to pray. Is that right?
Both prayers.
2 times, right?
8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m.
So this is called the Eid prayer, yeah?
Eid prayer.
Now, usually when we have something like the Friday prayer, we have a khutbah, and then we have the salah, right?
We have the salah, then we have the khutbah.
But for the Eid,
Yeah.
tell us again.
For the Friday prayer, we start with khutbah, then the salah. For Eid prayer, the opposite. We start with the salah prayer, then the khutbah.
Do we have to stick around for the khutbah?
It's much better, but not mandatory. But much better always to get benefits.
But I don't have to.
You don't have to, but it's much better because it's a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Can I just come for the khutbah and forget the prayer?
No, you have to pray. If you came for Eid, you have to pray.
How many rak'ahs?
It's 2 rak'ah like Friday prayer. The only difference between Eid prayer and Jum'ah Friday prayer is the number of takbirah, saying Allahu Akbar. We in Eid prayer we say 7 takbirah, 7 times saying Allahu Akbar in the first rak'ah, and another 5 more takbirah in the second rak'ah. This is the only difference between prayer of Jum'ah Friday and Eid prayer.
What do I do if it's Friday and you have the Eid on Friday?
Because you're not watching it.
Yeah, if Eid came on Friday, it is lawful for a Muslim who attend Eid prayer on Friday not to come to Jum'ah Friday. But the Imam or the Masjid has to have Jum'ah Friday prayer beside Eid prayer. But for the followers, if you came to pray Eid on Jum'ah, you don't have to come for Jum'ah
But you
prayer.
still have to pray.
But still, you have to pray. It has the little bit dispute between the scholars, but much better to pray. Yeah, much better to pray.
And pray for, right? For Doher.
For Dhuhr, if you're gonna pray Dhuhr, you have to pray four rak'ah.
Because if it's Friday and I don't pray, if I don't come for the Jummah, I still got to pray Doher, right?
Most of the scholars said you still have to pray Dhuhr. Some scholars said even Dhuhr prayer will not be mandatory. And they have authentic hadith that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as Abdullah ibn Zubayr ibn al-Awwam narrated, that when Eid came in Jum'ah, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ prayed Eid, and he never showed up until Asr prayer. So we have dispute between the
We
scholars.
don't know what he did in his house, though.
But some scholars said it's lawful not to pray anything if you prayed Eid on Jum'ah until Asr prayer. Most of the scholars said no, you still have to pray Dhuhr. Four rak'ah.
That's very good information. Now, I got another question for you. You said this is something big. A lot of people are going to come. So many people, you have to have 2 in a row. Some masajid will have 3 or 4. I was in one masjid one time, and I did the first one. Then somebody else did the second one. They said, we want a third one, and then a fourth one, and a fifth one. I wound up doing 5 out of the 6. And there were politicians there. The politicians said, whoa, because they were looking at all the cars and all the people. They said, we need to rethink how we're treating Muslims. Right. So we had a lot of people, but tell us, Sheikh, that sounds like it must be mandatory because so many people are coming. It's like thousands and thousands of people coming and coming. But what about the Fajr prayer? Is that mandatory?
It is mandatory to pray Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha prayer every day. It's mandatory. The 5 daily prayers are mandatory upon every single Muslim man or woman to pray every day. 5 daily prayers.
So all the people come, but is it mandatory to do Eid?
It is highly recommended to do it, to pray.
But is it
highly recommended. It's not mandatory. Yeah.
So this means that people have it upside down?
Many people are doing that for so long.
I want you to encourage everybody to come for all the prayers in the masjid.
It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The most important pillar of Islam right after Shahadatain, right after declaring the Shahada, are the 5 daily prayers. And this is one of the most important differences between Muslim and the non-Muslim. The one who prays the 5 daily prayers on its proper time is a Muslim, inshallah. But the one who does not pray the 5 daily prayers at all, he is putting himself in a big trouble. in his religion. So it is highly recommended. It's mandatory, not only highly recommended, it's mandatory upon every single Muslim man and woman to pray the 5 daily prayers every day on its proper time.
And highly recommended.
And highly recommended, and even some scholars said it's mandatory for the Muslim men to perform these 5 daily prayers on the Jama'ah, on congregation if they can. Yeah. For the women, it's lawful for them to pray at home. But for the men, highly recommended to come to pray these 5 daily prayers at the masjid with the Jama'ah, with the congregation. Wallahu.
Now we got some real education. What I wanted to demonstrate for all our folks at home is the importance of talking with real scholars who really know what they're talking about. It's not just what they heard from somebody else. If you'll notice, our Sheikh was mentioning several rawaya, meaning ways that you can go back to the original, a proof for your dalil, or what it's called, like chain of narration. Whenever you have a proof to go back to find what was done or not done by our Prophet, peace be upon him, or if you have the Quran and you know the Quran from the Arabic language, and you're explaining it from Arabic, then translation English. This is highly, 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 highly recommended, because then you've done what Quran is telling you. If you don't know, ask somebody who knows. And somebody who knows doesn't mean maybe he's a pharmacist, maybe he has PhD in electronics. And so you say, well, he's very intelligent, and that's not a problem. If I need anything fixed in electronics, or if I need to get my prescription filled, those are very good guys to go to. But if I need to know something about my religion, my deen, my way of life, why shouldn't I go to the one who has spent his life learning and teaching and sharing the right message the right way? I really, really, really know that from experience, this is the only way to go. Dealing with some of our brothers, they mean well, but more than likely it's like half-baked potato. Part of it's cooked, part of it's not. So you could run into a lot of trouble with that. Always, always, always go back to the source. Find someone who can give you dalil, give you proof. And if you notice something, our scholar here was mentioning to us, he kept saying, the scholars, when he's referring to scholars, he's talking about the very famous, well-known teachers of Islam from the various madhahib. And when he talks about that, he's saying there are different opinions. The strongest opinion is this. But when you hear there's another opinion and you're stuck sometime and you feel like, oh, if I don't do this, I'm going to be in trouble, at least you know there is an opinion. You could have done it that way, and you don't feel like you left Islam. You don't feel like you're way out on a limb. So listen carefully when our Sheikh is talking to you, and pull from that as much as you can. And when you have a